So I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to do about 5 minutes just to give a quick introduction as to what SNIA is and what it is that we do. Obviously, you've been here, those of you in the room have been here all week. One of the things that we wanted to talk about is some of the things that are changing in SNIA. SNIA's been around for 25 years plus, and we're making all kinds of progress and work to go for at least another 25 years in the future. So I am the guy with the hat. I'm also the guy with the funny spelled name. And yes, it is just Jay. That's really all it is. So don't try to make it any more complicated than it needs to be. I am the chair of the board of directors for SNIA. I'm also a technical director for systems design engineering at AMD. And I've been with SNIA for almost 10 years now, and having a great time talking to people about storage and storage networking, storage protection, storage archiving, and so on and so forth. So I've had quite an eclectic background. I've done everything from cleaning up oil spills to being a systems engineer to doing the tech stuff. But obviously, the work that I've been doing at SNIA is one of the things that I've been truly enjoying, mostly because of the fact that there is no shortage of technology that we can touch and we can cover. Not only that, but we work really closely with a lot of the industry organizations that you're probably familiar with. We work closely with NVM Express, DMTF, JEDEC, and so on, CXL, and on and on and on. But over the years, we've been kind of formulating and reformulating, but it always comes down to the same thing. It always comes down to how do we work with data? So one of the things that actually winds up being a problem in talking to people who are not storage geeks is that storage to them is simply capacity, right? It's what can you put onto a drive? What is the actual physical media that it goes onto, which is extremely important. We'll be talking about that today as well. But the reality is storage is a system. It is an approach. It is a way of giving you back the correct bit that you asked for when you asked for it. All the systems that go around doing that, everything that has to happen to make that work, that's storage. And that means that all of the things all the little moving pieces that are not always so sexy, those are the things that affect whether or not you actually can get that bit back. So ultimately, SNIA is designed and functions to be able to allow all of those systems to work together as a seamless whole, right? So we touch data in a lot of different ways. It's good touching, I promise. So we work on protecting the data. We work on how to transmit the data, how it gets formatted, how it gets stored and archived over the years. We also talk about efficiencies of data, right? The best I/O is the one you never have to make. So ultimately, we're focusing on the whole thing. It's a holistic thing that we're trying to do. And our mission is to be really good at all of these things at the same time. Well, obviously, that means we can't do everything by ourselves. And so as a result, we're working with a whole bunch of companies and a whole bunch of organizations and a whole bunch of individuals to allow that best thing to come forward, whatever it might be. Now, if you've seen the agenda for the Storage Developer Conference, you'll see that we had all kinds of stuff going on. Right? We had transports, we had CXL, we had computational storage, we've got the DNA storage, and we've got the data movers that we're going to be talking about later on today. But we also have things like management. We've had transports. We still have the conversations about, the important mission critical functionality of things like fiber channel, for example. NVMe over fabrics and so on. How you get the data from where it needs to be, when it needs to be is very, very important. And so obviously you want to make sure that the data that you have is going to be, nice and integrated so that you don't have to try to reinvent things over, all by yourself. So that's why we have these partnerships. And over the last couple of years, SNIA has realized that not everything is about the way it used to be, right? What used to be were the big iron centralized storage developments, but that's not the way it is anymore, not completely. Still very, very important. There's always using the right tool for the job. But as a result, we've also tried to figure out how do we deal with decentralized storage? How do you deal with memory and the storage collision point, right? Persistent memory and so on, which means that we've got lots of partnerships, both technical and as well as the trade, that allow us to be able to do what we need to do and work with the other people that actually are more experts about it than we are. right? And that's why last year, the DNA Data Storage Alliance came and joined us as a technological affiliate. And that's why this year we actually started, we also working with STAY, this SCSI Trade Association, who is now a part of SNIA, to be able to help broaden out the scope of what we're trying to do. So ultimately, we're trying to change the way that, we think of ourselves and that people think of us as experts on data, not just storage. So